But we got one of the biggest fights of the year outside of Tank and Ryan Garcia. Haney Lomachenko, future Hall of Famer. Haney, future Hall of Famer. Undisputed, lightweight, all the belts on the line this weekend in Vegas. Who you got? Who you got, Rick?
It's a tough one. I watched Lomachenko's like a few highlights from his previous fight. My opinion, he didn't look good. He didn't look good.
Lomachenko hasn't been super active in his professional career. He's
Yeah,
17-2. He's on a 4-fight win streak. His last loss was to Teofimo Lopez.
I was
So
about Lomachenko. He's getting up in age. Let
for
me just
sure.
start getting up in age. And I will say that, like Floyd Mayweather, he fought well into his 40s, still dominating the competition just due to his defense, right? He's a
Yep.
true strategist of the game. So Lomachenko is very cerebral in the ring as well. Um, the problem with that is that I think Haney is also cerebral as well. So it's really going to be the battle of who can outsmart who. Honestly, I think it's going to be a win by decision type of fight. I think it's going to go to distance. And I think the scorecards are going to reveal that Devin Haney will win. Haney does lack power. However, he kind of makes that up in his strategy and how he competes against his opponent. But for me, I enjoy watching power hitters like Javante Davis and others, Errol Spence, like those type of guys. I enjoy watching them. So I think it's going to be a boring fight, to say the least.
Yeah. So I think you made some great points. These are two just scientists when it comes to the sweet science. You got a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter. Both of these guys are very, as you said, cerebral when it comes to their fighting styles. I think Lomachenko is a guy who is tactical, much like you see with Floyd Mayweather. If you're not a guy who protects himself at all times, coming out of a clinch, he's gonna make sure he reminds you that you should be doing that. I think he is getting up in age, but even with getting up in age, in some ways his motor hasn't fully slowed down. I think he still has the capabilities to put pressure on Devin Haney and to make Devin Haney feel him. I do think it's a fight that goes the distance. I don't see Devin Haney, who to me is more of a jab artist. I don't see him knocking Lomachenko out with the jab. I just don't see that happening. I'm going to be interested to see when going into the deep waters what Devin Haney brings out of his bag. We know that he has a bag. We know that he's talented. We know that he's a part of the future of boxing. I won't say he is the future, but he's a part of it, a big part of it. And he's one of the greats at lightweight. He's undisputed champion, unified champion, and I think that again this fight goes the distance. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say this fight is gonna be a draw. I believe that early on in the fight, I think that the rounds will be very close. I think when we get into the deeper waters later in the fight, I think Lomachenko is going to up the pressure and win some of those rounds. And I don't think either guy, gets it by knockout. I think I'm going to call a draw on this fight, and I think that it'll set up for a great rematch. And that rematch could very well be Lomachenko's last fight. Who knows what other ambitions he has? I know he passed up a title shot last year to defend his country, which I think is very noble. But I think this fight ends in a draw. And again, of course, no knockouts going to the cards, but I'm taking a draw.
Cool.
So you heard it here first. You typically don't hear someone pick a draw for a fight, but I did it. We'll see if it happens. Haney Lomachenko. two of the greats at lightweight. We can't wait to see it. May 20th. Make sure you tune in. And also, make sure you give us that CLS treatment. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back with more from In the Arena.